All right, hello everyone, and welcome to a brand new video. In today's video, we are going to be going over my latest treasure cup, the third one of February. I brought Bello Betty as, of course, that's what I do. I am the Bello Betty guy. And we're gonna go over my matchups, deck lists, etc. We'll just jump straight into it. Here is the deck list I ran for this weekend's event, and the way it's looking is very different from what you're used to seeing. And there's a lot of reason behind this, but we're not going to go very in depth for that today. Instead, we're going to make a new video dropping in 2 days where I go over the deck list more in depth and actually run some games with it so you can see how it runs and all that. Today's video is going to be more about the actual treasure cup, but here is the deck list if you do want to try it out. Real quick before we jump further into this video, don't forget to like and subscribe. All right, I work hard. It's hard work making these videos, you know, and all I ask in return is that you like the video and subscribe if you want to see more content. It helps me out a ton if you actually do subscribe. So please do make sure you do that. And if you're a funky one, put the notifications on as well. That way you can see my videos first thing as they're uploaded and you will not miss a single one. Quick thing I want to mention as well before we jump into this treasure cup breakdown. It is that I have been incredibly sick for the last more than 1 week. I've been sick with fever, cough, you know, all the fucking bad things. So I actually wasn't able to practice almost anything before this tournament. I had like a quick session the night before where I pushed out some games, but besides that, I haven't been able to practice nothing at all, which was terrible. And I actually also wasn't quite healthy on the day of the tournament. I was still kind of sick, and I also was running on 2 hours of sleep. Just so you know that is my excuse going into this. Just know that I was not at the top of my game, and that is the reason for the results being as they are. Besides that, round 1 we played against Purple Luffy, and Purple Luffy is a great matchup, and there's not really much more to it than that. It's a great matchup, especially if they don't know the matchup. You know, you can easily push through, make them waste all their cards in hand, and then feel terrible, right? So we won that. We win those. We just do. So round 1, we're off to a great start. Perfect W. At this point in the tournament, I'm still feeling pretty good. Because, yeah, sure, I haven't slept, and I'm kind of sick, but at least my brain is not completely fried from playing like 15 games in a row, right? So round 1 is a W. Round 2, we see the dream matchup. This is the second best matchup in the entire game for us, besides Nami, of course. There really isn't much to say about this. I won, and I did so with fair ease. You know, it's just a difficult matchup. There's not much they can do. Like, I think it's 85-15 or something. Like, we just win these. Moving on to round 3. This is where things start to get interesting. Round 3, I went up against a Zoro. And to be more specific, Sue Zoro, right? They were running the animal package, which is incredibly difficult for us. This is literally a harder matchup than Doflamingo, and that says a bunch, all right? So when I saw this, I mean, both me and my opponent were like, oh man, yikes. You're in for a terrible run. And I was like, yeah, this is just kind of fucked. And to top it all off, this man goes, yeah, I know this matchup is horrible for you. I played a bunch of Bettys on the sim. He was a fairly high-ranked player. And yeah, so this was just incredibly rough, which is why it ended up with me winning. Oh my god! Yeah, I pulled through. I mean, let's be real. I lucked out like crazy. I saw my Lindberghs and I was able to pop his chopper blockers, pop his chopper spammer things, and I was able to just push through slowly but surely while keeping board control thanks to my Lindberghs and in combination with koalas and such. So this was just incredibly clutch Lindbergh game. I think I triggered once as well. I think I triggered a hormone into Lindbergh or something. Um, and that was just incredibly lucky that I was able to pull through this one. This guy actually ended up going 8-2, so I actually just ruined his run, which is a bit of a shame, especially since I ruined it for absolutely nothing. I ended up fucking choking the entire tournament, right? So that was a shame, but GG's to this guy nonetheless. It was a great game, and I was lucky to manage to pull through that one. So at this point, we're 3-0, right? 3-0, great start, love it. And we'll go up against a Blackbeard, another favored matchup. And what happened in this game was incredibly unfortunate. And the unfortunate part about it is that I could have played around it. So what happened was that basically my board is, I think I have a small guy. I have a Lindbergh. And then I did like Ivankov into Karasu or something. Yeah, exactly. That's what happened. And he has a small Lafitte out, right? Rested Lafitte. And I had the Lindbergh, right? So I was like, I'll just pop it with Lindbergh. And I want to go. I have my leader. That's it's gonna be at 6K. I have an additional Dawn on him. His leader's at 4K, and I have my Lindbergh at 8. And I want to make sure he doesn't counter out of any of these attacks, right? I want to make sure he takes them. So you want to make sure you swing 6 first and then 8. And in my head, I was like, okay, but if you swing with your leader first and he triggers something, you're going to be in a terrible bad spot because you won't get the value of the Lindbergh swing to KO the Lafitte, and also you just won't get the value of the actual swing as well. And in my head, I was like, yeah, this is a possibility. And I still don't play around it. Like, this is where you notice how fried my fucking brain was when playing this tournament. I literally go, yeah, I've been in this situation before. And then I go, it probably will be fine anyways. That's just not the correct play. So I swing with my leader, 6 at 4. He takes it, triggers a Shigan, pops my Lindbergh. And from there, I just lose incredibly much pace in this tournament. I literally go, he gets the extra draw from the feet. I lose that swinger. He like pops my Ivankov next turn, and then I'm stuck with just the Karasu and like think it was terrible. And it was all purely because I decided that it was worth my fucking time to swing with leader before Lindbergh. And that was just an incredibly huge mistake. So we actually end up losing this round. And it's a game that I shouldn't have lost. And it's a game that I lose purely because of my own flaws as a player and as someone who's sick and tired running into this tournament. I'd say I don't want to be the guy who's like, oh, excuses. But this really was a play that I don't see myself doing ever again. And it's something that I should have done better. And I know that I would do better given the different circumstances. So now we're 3-1, which is fine, right? You can lose a game and still do incredibly well at a tournament. And our next round is Lucci. Lucci is a 50-50 matchup if you know the game properly, and they have to see their pieces, you have to miss yours, etc., etc. But I've always found this match difficult, especially if they do see like an early Brook and early anything, you know. However, this guy did not do that, so we were able to push through and win this game. We just saw our pieces and he didn't, so we pushed through there, and that was lovely. And now we're 4-1. Confidence coming back to me if this game. I'm like, okay, I'm feeling this. We still got this. This is fine. And then we go up against a Bonnie, and Bonnie's another favorite matchup, right? In general, Bonnie is pretty free for us as they run a bunch of bricks and they don't really get to that high end of the game. But I shit you not, this motherfucker saw every card on the perfect curve. It was incredibly rough. What happened was, first of all, he wins the dice roll, so he goes second, which is terrible for me. I hate going first. It's so bad. And he sees the Bonnie on curve, the Searcher Bonnie, which I hate seeing because that means I'm going to swing into that, which means I'm losing a swing. which is just terrible, right? And losing swings against Bonnie, like the thing is, the searchers, they force me to swing, which means he gets to rest a thing for free, right? So it's incredibly strong for them to force a swing out of me early because it makes it so they can better keep board control. And so he does that. He plays a searcher on turn 1. I think he plays a searcher on turn 2 as well, including a blocker or something. He plays some kind of combinations of cards that I really don't like. And then on his like 6th on, he just goes a Cavendish and I think another searcher or something. And so at this point, he has Cavendish out, which is terrible. And I don't have any way of removing it. I think I triggered a Lindbergh at some point, but it was too late because he just rested it, and then on his 7th on, Carrot comes down. Yay, yeah, love me some Carrot, and stuns my Lindbergh for the rest of that game. I'm not able to remove the Carrot because he's frozen my Lindbergh, so that Carrot just sits there, gets another round of freeze, and then he on 8 he plays not Cavendish. He plays Hawkins, the blocker, 6 cost 7k blocker. Lovely, great for him. Now he doesn't have to worry about swings anymore. And then 10 Don, he drops 10 cost Doflamingo, stuns my entire board. I don't have enough swings to come through, and he just is able to absolutely dominate that game. I don't know if this was so much my opponent knew the matchup or if it was just he drew incredibly well. Could be both. You never know. But he drew the absolute nuts, and he fairly demolished me. Nothing I could have done necessarily in this matchup to make it better for me. Besides maybe drawing better. I don't remember how I drew this game, but I'm sure I drew just fine. And I think maybe I didn't see my 6 cost koala when I wanted to see it, because I remember him starving me and me being pissed about it. And if I had koala, that wouldn't have been a problem. But he was just too strong for me, and that's all right. That happens. Round 7, we go against a Shanks. And Shanks is, again, it's a favorable matchup, but unfortunately, these motherfuckers have started teching in Karina, the film blocker. 3 cost, 4k, counter, blocker, and it has the effect that once per turn, you can trash a card from your hand to give plus 2,000 during whatever battle, which is incredibly strong. As our favor, like the reason we're favorable against Shanks is because they run a bunch of bricks. And if they have this card that just says, hey, my bricks are going to be not bricks, then we're fucked. And unfortunately, it's a 4k, so it's out of Lindbergh range without reducers. And it was incredibly rough. He just sat on that the entire game and countered out of all my swings, and I lost. He also had like guard point, double red hawk, and he just had all the counters in the world. He also saw Lucky Roo. So he just saw a bunch of things, and I didn't. It was basically the same thing as the Bonnie matchup, right? He also took 2nd from me, so that's another really rough thing. Which, yeah, it was just terrible. He literally just went. He curved out, and I didn't, and it was rough, and it happens. Moving on to round 8. At this point, I am 4-3. And not only is the harsh circumstance of me being sick and tired coming to me, but at this point, I am incredibly triggered, as well as going X3 is not something that I wanted to do in this tournament, and it's not where I wanted to be at all. And I'm up against Smoker, which is a favored matchup again. And I absolutely demolished this guy. I play better. I bring out my entire board. He sees nothing. He's like his every turn he plays a Kobe to pop one of my things. He just goes leader ability, reduce one of my 4 costs, plays the 3 cost Kobe, trashes a card, pops the thing, and next turn he goes like, oh, Rebecca into Kobe, pop another thing. So he's sitting on 2 Kobe's on board. I have like literally a full board of things. His hand size is low. And we also made a thing where he was going to double 1k out of one of my attacks, but he forgot that he was Karasu'd, so he had to drop a third 1k. And, dropping 3 cards to counter out of a 6k swing, it's incredibly rough. And so I'm in a really good spot. And unfortunately, he goes, oh, well, I guess I'll just have to go for it now. I have 1 card in hand. It's a 6 cost koala, so I have no counter. And he's sitting on Kobe, Sengoku, the 1K Sengoku, and leader swing. And I'm just like, okay, so yeah, he can swing 5 and then 7, but he doesn't have enough for 7, 9. You know, he doesn't have perfect lethal by any means, because we're at like 7 Dawn or something. And he goes 6 with his first Kobe, which is great for me because I'm just glad he didn't go 5, you know? And I take it, and it's a 1K counter. I'm like, fuck, this is not looking good. And he swings 6 with the other Kobe. And at this point, I'm like, fuck, that's such a ballsy move, you know, especially because I'm trying to bait him into thinking I get 2Ks and stuff. It doesn't really matter. He has to go for it this game. And my last life, another 1K counter, and he has exactly enough to swing 7 left with lead. And it's only because I didn't have a 1 cost. If I had a 1 cost out, he would have gone to 8, but he has perfect for 7, and I am 1K short, and I lose that game. So that was incredibly rough, especially because I played better than him. I literally just didn't see that he had a chance at lethal whatsoever. And I think I discarded a Kuma for leader ability instead of discarding the Koala, which makes sense in every other scenario where he could just, you know, wipe my board and then establish some blockers and stuff, which is technically the correct play for him to do. But he just didn't have enough cards in hand. He didn't have the resources to actually do that. So he just like, I gotta go for it. Which hit that Hail Mary lost me the game. And that happens, and it's just incredibly frustrating that it was just so tight, and I'm actually playing infinitely better, drawing infinitely better, and I still lose the game. So at this point, I'm just like, okay, well, I'm not gonna play this fucking game anymore. I'm out. I'm 4-4. I'm incredibly triggered. I'm tired. I'm sick. We go against a Ploofy. I lose 1K off at this point. I'm playing suboptimally. I don't even care at this point. Next round, teach, lose that too. I don't even remember why I lost this game, honestly. But the last 2 rounds, like after this smoker loss, I just stopped playing. Nothing matters to me. So I ended up going 4-6. From 4-1 to 4-6, I lost 5 games in a row. You ain't never seen that before, have you? That's crazy. So yeah, we had an incredibly bad run, and ended up going 4-6 for the last tournament. However, I do feel like my deck list performed way better than the previous deck list. Running that extra stage just means more consistency. More consistency means better, you know, deck. And so in general, I felt really good going into this tournament. But the tier of me being sick and tired in combination with very draining games just ended up taking me out of the run and not being able to perform at my best. And besides that, besides all my shitty excuses, I think that's going to be it for this video. Like I said before, don't forget to like and subscribe. It helps me a bunch. And especially if you want to make sure you see that next video coming up, which is going to be my competitive Bell Betty list, and we're going to run some games with it. Make sure you subscribe, turn on notifications, you know, all that good stuff. And you'll be the first to know when that video is posted. Other than that, thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you again soon.